Hey, y'all, hey. Welcome to the PowerWoman podcast. This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss how to solve powerful issues, and the power men who help us rise. I'm your host, Power Mom, Claire Brown.
Today's PowerWomen podcast is proudly sponsored by Cupid's Lingerie, Arkansas's premier lingerie and gift store. Love is in the air, y'all. Cupid's has everything you need. Lingerie, and much more. They have 6 central Arkansas locations, and you can shop online. Visit shopcupids.com and make your next date night the best one yet. Cupids. Enjoy. Hey, so today we are here with Ebony Mitchell, better known as Miss Arkansas.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. So excited. I'm so excited to open the conversation with you
me
today.
too.
Yes. So we met when you were preparing for Miss America.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's been a while, right?
It has.
Well, kind of a couple months.
It doesn't take long. So I was fascinated by your story of becoming Miss Arkansas and how you got there, because I love it so much. I really do. And so that's why I wanted to have you on, because I think it's a story that I think people in the pageant industry receive a very judgmental and stereotypical mindset, or, it's projected that, you're here for just one reason or whatever, and there's no brain, and it's just bronze and all these things, right?
Yes.
And so when I learned your story, I was like, that woman's story needs to be echoed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
For so many different reasons. And so tell us, who is Ebony Mitchell?
So my journey in the Miss America, Miss Arkansas organization started a very long time ago. I met Miss Arkansas when I was about 9 years old. I was in the 3rd grade. And so at the time, I knew about the Miss America organization. I knew Miss Arkansas, but I didn't really understand kind of what it all entails and what these women are all capable of and what they end up doing with their lives. So when Miss Arkansas came to my school, this was 2005.
Right.
And I'm from Harrison, Arkansas. Very top of the state. And if anybody knows the kind of the reputation that Harrison has, it's not always been a very diverse or inclusive community. But I grew up there my entire life, went there K through 12, and I really never had any problems in Harrison. I was one of the only children of color in my entire school district. It was just me and my siblings at the time.
Right.
So when Miss Arkansas came, it was Eudora Mosby, and she was the 2nd Black Miss Arkansas. So when I saw her and when she spoke to me, and I saw her wearing this sash and this crown, I really kind of changed my entire outlook on what I thought I was capable of and what I could do. So I really felt kind of seen for the first time by her, and I felt like I was capable and like I was unique in my just being myself. So that's kind of how this whole journey started for me and where it all began. So from there, I competed but I joined as a Diamond State Princess, which is the mentorship program in the organization. And I got to walk on stage at age 10 with Allison Waldrop Bragg now. She was Miss University of Arkansas that year.
Okay.
And when I walked with her, I stepped foot on the Miss Arkansas stage, and then I kind of never really got off the stage after that. I competed as a teen a few times, and then after I learned that Miss Arkansas also gives out scholarship money, and being the youngest of 3 children, coming from a single mother home, I knew that if I wanted to go to college and pursue my education, that was going to be on me financially. So I tried to get as many scholarships as I could. I got a cheerleading scholarship to UCA in Conway. I got a couple academic scholarships. I did play sports in high school, but being 5'2", I kind of knew that wasn't going to be my my plan. So I joined Miss Arkansas, and over the last 5 years, and then by winning the title and the job of Miss Arkansas, I've gained a little over $78,000 of scholarship. So, it's not only paid for my undergraduate degree, but my master's as well. And it's been quite the journey over the last almost, 17 years of my life.
Right.
And I don't know where or what I would be doing if I never joined the organization. So it's really been extremely life-changing for me.
Very much so. So there was so much in that
There's
beautiful,
so much.
polished answer that you just gave, that you've obviously told many a time.
Yeah,
Cool. That we're going to unpack and talk about real quick.
Sure.
You came from Harrison, Arkansas, and I'm born and raised in this state. I know the stories of Harrison, Arkansas, as I'm sure you do too.
Mm-hmm.
And those that are listening, watching, that are not from our state, they're like, okay, what's the big deal about Harrison, Arkansas?
Yeah.
They have no idea of when you entered into that city, the billboards that faced you.
Mm-hmm.
Or the activities that may have happened in that town or did happen in that town.
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
you said, you were how many Black students?
In my elementary, it was me and my sister, and my brothers.
And how many students total?
Out of the whole school district, I mean, it's huge. It's a class 5A school. So,
right.
I mean,
it's
even
large.
in my graduating class, I was the only one.
And how many were in your graduating class?
About 250.
Exactly my point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to say you were a minority is a complete understatement.
Yeah.
I mean, no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And so my point is, so the billboards that we saw were extraordinarily racist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's nauseating to those that do not feel that way.
Right, yeah.
And to be a person that lives among that goes to the grocery store and possibly rubs shoulders with those who feel that way about you your entire life, that programming that you receive really can define you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. And so them being in the third grade and finally seeing this woman that is completely different.
Yeah.
And she looks like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Changed your trajectory.
Yes, very life-changing. And I think, I take that with me almost every single day as Miss Arkansas, because I've been to schools. I go to schools almost every day, and I do my school programs and speak to students. And there's always a little girl who comes up to me. I've had girls come up to me and just start bawling.
Right.
Who are in the third grade, who are just like me. So being able to relate on that level and really fully understand the grasp and the influence that I have just by being in the room really kind of sets the tone for my entire year and why I wanted to be Miss Arkansas in the first place, because of that first interaction I had with you, Dora. So crazy.
Yeah, because the gravity of that.
Yeah.
I think we miss that so much, that especially even just as women.
Yeah.
That's been the thing. As women rise, we're able to see ourselves in another and say, she did it, and yes, I can.
Right, yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I see that every single day. I mean, I go into schools and people will come up to me, little girls will come up to me and they say, oh, I want to be like you now. I want to be Miss Arkansas. Or I think now, since I've seen you do it and you've kind of conquered this huge stepping stone in your life, because there's only been 84 Miss Arkansas, and I'm the fourth woman of color to ever be Miss Arkansas.
Right.
And to come out of Harrison and be the first woman ever to be Miss Arkansas
Which
from
is
Harrison
huge.
And be a woman of color.
Right.
It's so much more, I think, than people understand.
It is.
Just by surface level.
It is. The gravity of it is huge. And I don't think that's been discussed enough, Ebony.
It's
I
crazy.
really don't.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. It's wonderful.
It's amazing.
It really is wonderful. And I really think that is what needs to be exploited, if you will, from your reign.
Yeah.
Because women little girls, women need to see that they should never be told no.
Yeah.
They should never be told you can't, or that's not the path you should take, or consider something else.
Yeah.
They should be told, of course, because look here. This is who you look like, and this is who has done this.
Yeah, that's why representation is so important.
Yeah.
Because if I would have never met Eudora when I was 9, if I would have never seen her in this position like I am, I really don't know if I would have ever believed that I could do it, or if I would have even tried.
Right.
So, because even in my school, I didn't have any teachers that looked like me.
That's right.
In my community, I didn't have any community leaders who looked like me. Mayors, or even people who just volunteer at community events. So I've always felt a little different in my school.
Sure.
And I always kind of felt this overarching weight on my shoulders just because I knew I was different. And I recognized that from a very young age. And so given this opportunity and just meeting her has really just impacted my life and kind of put me on the trajectory of where I went. So, to say it's life-changing,
yes,
I feel like is a huge understatement.
It is.
Yes, and then even going back to the billboards and in Harrison, and I grew up there my entire life. So, of course, I've seen it, and I've understood kind of what that meant from a very young age. I don't think I quite grasped it. I knew what ignorance was. And I think that's what I dealt with mostly in Harrison. So to go into the city of Harrison now from whichever side you come in, and now you're greeted with a big billboard of me instead,
which is so great.
So amazing.
Yes.
And, I think I've met so many people in Arkansas who I tell them where I'm from, and I get a huge gasp in the room.
Absolutely.
Especially people that I work with at, I worked at Sunshine Academy in Conway. I taught tumbling and cheer ninja classes there.
Yeah.
And they always tell me every time they would take their cheer teams through Harrison, they would never stop.
No.
So now I think when you're greeted with a woman of color who is not only representing Harrison, but the entire state of Arkansas on a national level, it totally changes everything.
It does. It does. And, God bless those people in Harrison.
Yeah.
I really hope it's helped them change too.
Yeah. And the attention that it's received, not only here in Arkansas, but on a national level, has been just extremely overwhelming, but in all the best ways. So people in Harrison, I had a homecoming celebration there after I won in July, and it was standing room only from people that I haven't seen in years from when I went to school. I got to visit my old elementary school where I met Eudora, and every single teacher that I had came back just to see me as Miss Arkansas. So it's not only beneficial for me being Miss Arkansas, but for them to see how much that I really took on what I kind of got from elementary and what I took in from that first moment with Eudora and how it's projected throughout my entire life.
Right. Because it's not just that little girls see you wearing a crown.
Yeah.
They see a leader.
Right.
They see a woman that stands in front of others and speaks and teaches and guides and changes things, makes a difference and an impact in her community. You see all these different things that come with you. So it's not necessarily that, and that's what I want others to see. Yeah. That's not necessarily what pageants bring.
No, it's so much more.
So much more. And so being able for all these little girls to say, I can do, be, and have that, it is life-changing. It is not just a woman on stage in a bathing suit. It is changing the lives of these girls, just like it did for you.
Yeah. I mean, before I competed in Miss Arkansas, I wanted to get an education, so I had to take out student loans for that. And I mean, the night that I won Miss Arkansas, before winning, I had about $35,000 of loans behind my name. And so I know the weight of what that carries, but I was going to get my education one way or another. So the night that I won, in total, I won about $44,900. So, I mean, in an instant, my student loans were gone. And so this organization doesn't just give me gowns and all the glitz and the glam that everyone usually sees on the outside, but there's so much work and advocacy work that I do throughout the state, and I get to work with the governor and with the AG's office and with people like you who are lifting voices throughout the entire state of Arkansas and on a national level. So this organization is so much more, just like you said.
Yeah. And so what we have to do is we have to get into curiosity.
That's right.
And ask the questions and discover more of what you do rather than
just
turning on the pageant once a year and judging what women are on the surface from the stage. And unfortunately, as women, we do that too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're some of the worst critics of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're going to take a quick break and learn what Cupid's has for us real quick. And then we'll be right back. Today's Power Women podcast is proudly sponsored by Cupid's Lingerie, Arkansas's premier lingerie and gift store. Love is in the air, y'all. Cupid's has everything you need, lingerie and much more. They have 6 central Arkansas locations, and you can shop online. Visit shopcupids.com and make your next date night the best one yet. Cupid's. Enjoy. So, little known fact.
Yes.
I was the teen Saline County Fair Queen.
Yes. Did we talk about this?
Yes.
Okay,
I love how you just...
It's like a light bulb went off in my head.
I'm sorry. Yes, that
so
was an amazing reaction for my long-held title that I got to wave at the rodeo.
Yes. Did you compete at the state fair?
No. No, okay. I was the teen, not the whole fair queen.
Okay,
no, yes,
that's okay.
No,
there is totally a Mrs. Fine. State Fair.
I did learn that through the process.
So,
nope. Nope.
If you're up for it.
No. Oh, Mrs. No, I'm single.
No. But I'm just saying, even if you're not married, there is still an age group.
No.
That you are
My days have long passed.
A great prize package.
See, you're supposed to say things like that.
I'm not affiliated with them, but
it's okay.
It is a good program.
But no, ma'am. So, I had some exposure, if you will, to
You're qualified.
Yeah. No. And what is next? And so, okay, when does your reign end?
It is the first week of June.
Okay.
Which seems it's really crazy because I feel like I was crowned yesterday.
Yeah.
And then this year has been so jam-packed and so fast.
Right.
That I feel like I blinked and then here I am.
Right.
But it's really the craziest year of my life.
Oh, for sure.
Like I can't even explain it. I think you don't understand until you're in those shoes of Miss Arkansas, because I've been friends with so many formers and they tell me about all their stories and how intense the job is. And it really is. I mean, my calendar is crazy. You're very busy too, so I'm sure you understand. But yes, I crowned the next Miss Arkansas in June. And then after that, I just graduated last May with my Master of Healthcare Administration from John Brown University in Salem Springs. So I've got a few things lined up after, some interviews with some different health administration positions and different hospital boards and administration teams. So we'll see. TBD.
Okay. Very good.
Stay tuned.
Yes. And I know, there's always talk about, while you hold the crown, you cannot, the rules. What are all the rules of while you hold the crown?
Right.
What are those?
Well, there's some unspoken rules about the crown, but then you also have normal rules. And, that's also something that surprised me a lot when I won Miss Arkansas, because your job starts immediately the next morning after you win. And, you're up till like 2 a.m. after you win because your phone is blowing up. I just had to turn mine off after a while. And, you have all of the media coming at you. You start media week immediately. But the next morning you have your board meeting at around 8 a.m. where you meet the entire board and they kind of lay out what the year is going to look like, what their positions are on the board. And then you have the contract. So, and they go over every single word on the contract, which I appreciate so much. So you actually understand what you're getting yourself into. And it surprised me because it was so short. And I have heard all the stories and kind of the myths about Miss Arkansas and what the contract looks like, but it's really not bad. There's not much on there that's not just kind of common sense. And there's a lot of rules that had been added just because of things that had happened in the past. But one of the rules, so they give you a car for the year and they give you an apartment for the year and they give you clothes, really anything you could need to be successful throughout the year, they give that to you. But some of the rules are, you're just kind of held to a higher standard because you're the face of the organization. But it's really similar to when I cheered at UCA and we are representing the university, on a national level. So I understood how important image is, social media rules, what to post, what's not okay to post. And how everything that I'm doing, there's always a 6-year-old or a 12-year-old or, even an 80-year-old watching everything that I do. And there's been times where I was on the road and I was driving and sometimes I go a little fast. But this was like 2 weeks after I won Miss Arkansas and I get a text right when I was going to Fayetteville from Little Rock and I get a text and someone said, "Hey, so-and-so saw you on the road telling you to slow down." And I was like, that's so crazy. I mean, everywhere I go, there is someone who is watching. So, I mean, just kind of unspoken rules. There are a lot of traditional values in the organization and in Miss Arkansas. So most of it is common sense. I don't know if there's any hard rules. I mean, if you want to go the contract route, you're not allowed to be married. You can't be publicly engaged. Things like that. There's certain age restrictions. There's a certain amount of thank you notes that you are required to write every single month. Yes.
How many?
It's not much. It's like 15. I write like 15 a week. So just because there's so many people who just give so much stuff. I'm trying to think what else there is. But
I like that rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a lost art.
Yes. Handwritten thank you notes.
Handwritten notes.
The thing is, they supply you with this at the very beginning of the year. I have a huge box of thank you notes. I have a huge box of autograph pads that have my contact on the back. They also give me business cards. So they make it so easy for you to be successful as long as you put forth the effort and the work. And, being a part of the organization for so long, I understand and I love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy for me to do what I'm supposed to do because it's just they just give so much. You know, it changed my life.
They set you up
so
for success
yeah,
very easily. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, so many of us recognize the age and that you can't be married, you can't be publicly engaged and all these things, but you have been dating someone for a very long time.
Yes, and that has been so helpful though because since we've been dating, we've been dating since I started in the Miss program, so everybody knows John. So
that's good.
It wasn't like I had to introduce him to the board because he is like the biggest hype man, and everywhere I go, people on social media they follow him too because they want to see. I mean, in his bio it says Mr. Arkansas, so he really takes on the role, and he's very outgoing. But everybody already knew him, so it was very easy.
That's so good.
But there are a lot of unspoken rules of Miss Arkansas. So I'm not allowed to have any men in my car that's provided to me. I'm not allowed to have men in my apartment that's provided to me. Just because, again, we go back to the image of Miss Arkansas. Right. And I understand that. The good thing with John, though, is he lives in Texas. So
makes it a little easier.
It's a little easier, and it wasn't a big adjustment for me because there's been a lot of girls who've been Miss Arkansas, and they live in the same city as their boyfriends and their significant others and their partners. So it's a little bit of an adjustment to go from seeing them every day to maybe seeing them once every 3 months.
Right.
But it's been a lot easier since he doesn't live here.
Yeah.
But the one thing that was really hard about becoming Miss Arkansas is you're also not allowed to have pets in the apartment. I know, it's sad. And everyone knows I have a long-haired miniature wiener dog. His name is Dax. He has his own Instagram account too. So when I won Miss Arkansas, I knew though, because I was really anticipating, I was like hoping I was going to win this year. So I told John, if I win, you have to take Dax for the year. So now Dax is a big city, Dallas, Texas boy.
Okay. So your boys are both in Texas.
Yes. But I get to see him every few months. So it's okay. And we get through it. FaceTime calls are everything.
Yes, they are. Very good. And so where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I would love to have started a family. I'm 26 now, so I'm hoping not anytime soon, but maybe the next 10 years.
Right.
I would love to be established in my career, wherever that may be. I have a plan. I'm very much a planner. So I have a plan for myself to obtain a doctorate degree in the next 10 years.
Okay.
I'm hoping, though, there's a lot of jobs and a lot of employers that do tuition assistance programs because I know what it's like to take out student loans, and I'm never doing that again.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully obtain my doctorate of business. And I've always been kind of a teacher at heart. So I'd love to step into a professor role somewhere.
Right.
Either after my time working as a hospital administrator or maybe during, we'll see.
Right.
But I'd love to have bought a home, started a family, and kind of be set in my career.
Very nice.
We'll see.
I love it.
We don't know. Plans are great because
Yeah.
they usually never go the way we
they
anticipate,
don't.
and that's what kind of the beauty of life.
They don't.
Yeah.
My biggest curiosity, though, is to continue the legacy that was started for you.
Yeah.
And so how are you going to continue to allow little girls to see themselves in you in 10 years?
Right. And I think about that all the time because I've always been the type of person to keep up with Miss Arkansas. I could tell you every single Miss Arkansas from the year I saw her first crown, which was 2007.
Right.
And I've always kind of followed them throughout the year, see what they do in their careers because they're so impressive. So many of them have gone on to become doctor, whoever, or been phenomenal educators, or even teachers, dance teachers, wherever they find themselves in their career. So for me, I put so much emphasis on education because I understand the doors that opens, especially for women. So for my legacy, I'll continue to be involved in the organization and continue to help people who are interested in competing in the organization.
Right.
Because again, it's so life-changing. The relationships that you get by competing like ours, I wouldn't have met you if I wasn't Miss Arkansas.
100%.
And the doors that open for so many women. I don't come from much. I don't come from money. I don't come from a huge family. So this has just changed everything about me. And that's why I'll continue to be involved, even after I'm done.
Challenge that because I think you come from quite a bit.
I come from, and that's what I tell people. I come from a lot of love and a lot of resilience and a lot of independence.
Well, most people don't.
Yeah. And that's what, people ask me.
That's wealth.
Yes, exactly. And I've been asked the question before about privilege and what that looks like and what I think I'm privileged with. And that's with a very loving home and a mother that cares a lot about me.
That's
and
right.
that pushed me so much because so many people don't have that. And
Right.
I understand that and I recognize that
Yeah.
and the importance of how incredible it is to come
Yes.
from something like that.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how, I mean, it excites me so much to sit with you, to talk to you. I truly love your story so much.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I just want everyone to hear it.
And I appreciate that.
Yes. I can't tell you the gratitude I have for how much you've changed the lives of others in regards to racism, in regards to misogyny, in regards to the trajectory of yourself
Right.
and of women. And I am looking forward to watching what you continue to do.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
So
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you just for your time.
Thank
today.
you. I appreciate you so much.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes. And check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.